Good morning and welcome to the Mike and the Haas Show, powered by the Yum Yum Shop on the Pulse of New Hampshire. I'm Mike Deneen alongside Charlie Hossack. We are Mike and the Haas. Charlie, I am out of here right after this show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard about it 100 times. Where are you going, Mike?
Dog just told me to make sure I hit it because
Okay.
you can, if you want to listen to the Red Sox and you're not as fortunate as I am that you're going down, you can listen to it on the Pulse of New Hampshire, obviously live.
Yes.
3:10 pregame, 4:10 first pitch. Unfortunately, for me anyway, it's Patrick Sandoval that's getting the start.
Yeah, I know. But it's at least you're gonna get a chance. You're gonna go to Fenway. You know how I feel about Fenway, but it's fun. It doesn't matter because you're going to be at a baseball game, which is exciting.
I wasn't going to say it until off air. He just said, make sure you push the fact that you're going to the Sox.
Yes, yeah. And that Dog and I are not, but that's great. We're happy for you. That's great.
We're going to talk about the Red Sox. We talked about it in Overtime with Mike and the Haas. That's the weekly podcast that we do in the middle of the week that you catch on the Pulse Podcast Network, about the second half outlook of the Red Sox.
Right.
And, excluding last night, obviously, what we think is going to happen to them. How are we feeling? Are we confident?
Yeah.
Either way, from 3 weeks ago, they're relevant. Either way, they're relevant right now.
I mean, and if you listen to David Ortiz, they're going to win the World Series.
Yeah, I know.
I just love him. He's such a good homer.
He's a real homer. Big Poppy's a real homer.
I appreciate that though.
One of my favorite. I'm really jumping topics. This is Sports Center commercials.
Yeah.
When he tried on the Yankee cap, you ever seen it on ESPN when he tried on the Yankee cap, and Wally walked by, and he was like chased Wally down. No, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. So
speaking of that, we're going to have a chance to talk a little about someone who did chase someone off a golf course.
Yes.
One of my favorite football players.
That's a good golf tournament.
Yeah.
That's a good golf. There's a lot of stuff that happens. The American Century Championship, it's all the celebrities and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a really neat golf tournament. I wanted to hear about Jerry Rice.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Jerry. And then once we actually get the show rolling, I do have some questions, or I have a question for the two of you that I want an opinion that it's actually, believe it or not sports related, but it's something I want to hear your take on.
One thing we're going to have to do when we go to break, we're going to have to change these chairs that we're sitting in.
Yeah.
Because they're squeaking. And
Dog's not going to like that.
We're using different chairs than we normally do, and I just can't handle this.
Okay, so during break, we'll switch them out.
All right. Mike and the Haas is powered by the Yum Yum Shop, located in the heart of downtown Wolfboro. Can be found on the Pulse of New Hampshire radio stations and all over the world on the Pulse of New Hampshire app. You can always catch up and listen to our previous shows on the Pulse Podcast Network, Spreaker, Audible, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Yum Yum Shop has over 100 varieties of fresh baked goods, including 6 different types of bread, and a full-service ice cream bar, and, of course, their most famous item, the gingerbread cookie. Make sure to visit the Yum Yum Shop the next time you're in Wolfboro or online at yumyumshop.com. And while you're there, enter the discount code of Mike and the Haas to receive 20% off a Gingy Box. I want to thank the Heinz Group in Philadelphia and London for sponsoring our Facebook Live and YouTube Live feed. And obviously, you want to follow us on social media.
You can follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, and as you said, Facebook and YouTube.
Make sure at the end of the show, we're going to pitch next week's show.
Yeah.
Too. We want to pitch that because it's Christmas in July.
It's Christmas in July, and there's going to be all sorts of awesome prizes. It's going to be some food prizes, maybe some golf prizes. Ooh. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Opening takes brought to you by Back Bay Boathouse,
where you can enjoy delicious food and drinks right next to the lake. Don't forget to order the $5 Mike and the Haas penalty box during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m.
We're talking about the same thing, our opening takes, because the World Cup is ending, and that's really kind of dominated sports for the last 6 weeks or so, 5 or 6 weeks. And
the World Cup ends tomorrow.
It ends tomorrow. It's ending tomorrow. The championship game, Argentina and Spain, which is a classic championship game. You got Lionel Messi, who is I read an article this morning about yesterday morning about that he is potentially the greatest athlete of all time.
Wow.
Pretty
fun to debate.
Bold statement.
Pretty good debate topic.
I mean,
he's certainly a good soccer player.
He's a very good soccer player. And he has been a very good soccer player for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair that we recap the World Cup and what our thoughts are, Mike and the Haas's thoughts are on it, and if it was a success or, you know.
You know, the one thing I do notice is that I know that Dog, whether secret or not, I know Dog's a soccer fan because every time I see anything with Dog, he's got the soccer game going on, especially on social media. He's always posting things, which is cool.
Dog, who are you rooting for? Who were you rooting for?
Vive la France, obviously.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
They were upset.
Yeah.
And Mbappe had some parting words for his legendary coach out the door,
Yes.
which was kind of surprising. The guy has been coaching since 1998, and he didn't like the strategy that they used.
Yeah.
Soccer's cutthroat. It really is, especially on the international stage. It's very cutthroat. We've talked about what happens to the coaches, referees, and so on when they don't win or they don't perform. Which is kind of so. Thoughts on World Cups, because we're not giant soccer fans. We don't talk about soccer on a weekly basis.
We don't profess to be. We're not experts by any means.
But FIFA,
yeah,
for me, this is my thought, not yours. This is my thought.
Okay.
Appears to be one of those corrupt organizations in the world.
Yeah.
It really is. It is downright dirty. It is bribed. The people are getting bribed. It's secretive. Even in the games, when there's controversial calls, you don't get to see some of the angles. They hold back some of the angles for you to see. They don't let their feed go out to social media or anything like that. You can't, unless you go to the FIFA channel where they're controlling the narrative.
Right.
You can't see something that's independently from what they're the message that they want to do.
FIFA, right.
Yeah. It's just incredibly corrupt.
It makes you wonder. I agree with you. It makes you wonder, though, are there other organizations like that we just, don't see or don't talk about or don't want to talk about? We turn a blind eye to. What I'm saying is that, and I'm not going to name like names. I mean, you people thinking it was at the NBA, NFL, whatever. Do they have similar control, but we just kind of, because we're fans or because we turn a blind eye, we don't see it or don't want to see it?
Well, I think that we've talked about the NFL and their replay and how they call games.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. We've talked about the NBA and how they put in certain referees for certain games that they want to extend series. So there is a little smoke there. I just think FIFA seems to be more outwardly corrupt, starting from the top.
Yeah. And I think, especially for us, especially as we are casual fans, right? And now we've been immersed with FIFA and World Cup. So I think we're more hyper focused on all of it, and we're starting to see it.
Well, we've been talking about the ticket prices and that whole thing, and the line that they sold the American public about how this was going to be accessible and affordable. Tickets were going to be affordable. Apparently now they are, because
they did, but now they're back up.
They're back up
so
now.
Yeah, yes.
But they did go down for a little while.
They did. But still going down. They were still not accessible to the general public.
And that was it was a sales pitch that they didn't follow through on.
Right.
It
reminds me, it's interesting. So this is more pop culture, but I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you like Garth Brooks or whatever. I think he's a great singer. So Garth Brooks is going back on tour, like after 30 years. And he has made a pledge saying that all tickets, every single ticket will be, I believe it's $154. So that's from front row to back row. That's what it is. And I believe he's going to deliver on that. And that's great. $154 for a ticket seems to be accessible for a fan that would like to go see Garth Brooks perform.
Reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable.
The problem is that secondary market, that's where they're having trouble controlling. It's not the initial that they can control. It's the secondary market where the ticket masters of the world and so on, and the StubHubs and so on, they buy up as many of those tickets. And so now you're getting major investors, dare I say, some like private equity,
sure.
and they're going in and buying up these tickets, and then they're controlling the price. And we're seeing these organizations have a very difficult time preventing that from happening. Yeah. Because they're really kind of sneaky about the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. And once once your Ace Tickets or, name your agency takes over, I mean, that's capitalism right there, right? Whatever they can get for the ticket, they're going to sell it for them to make a profit.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this the Taylor Swift? One of the lawsuits for Taylor Swift was with Ticketmaster, and
wasn't Ticketmaster Live Nation
how they were controlling the prices, and she wanted an accessible product.
Yeah. Good for her. I mean,
good for her.
It's true. It's true. We do like Taylor.
What else about the flopping?
Yeah.
The flopping was tough to watch.
Yeah.
We did see
some yellow cards for flopping, and in the semifinal we saw a second yellow card which turned into a red card because of flopping.
Yeah.
So I mean, but there needs to be. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's something that we can fix, but I think it's something that needs to be fixed because nobody wants to see flopping.
I watched a lot of the France-Spain game.
Yeah.
And the goalie went down as if he was shot out of the crowd.
Yeah.
And when they did the replay, he wasn't even touched.
Sniper got him.
Wasn't
Yeah.
even touched. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
It's the one thing about going down, but it's another thing about going down and writhing in pain and holding your head.
Yeah.
We see flopping. I think the American public thinks of flopping as taking a charge in basketball.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Not being
Yeah.
decapitated.
And taking
on
a
the
charge,
field.
there's real contact.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's the American public when they look at flopping, where flopping in soccer isn't just going down.
Yeah.
I don't have a huge problem with them going down. It's the writhing in pain and rolling around on the ground and
Yeah.
getting carted off on a stretcher.
Yeah.
That whole thing is just so dramatic and unnecessary.
Yeah.
Here's something that I did like about it. I want to go to a positive. I
Sure.
love the fan experience and the culture that came into the U.S.
Yeah.
And the Tartan Army and
Yeah.
Norway and everybody. Every nation seemed to have their army, for lack of a better word.
Sure.
And they didn't just stay in the soccer world. They
No.
they experienced
America.
Yeah. And I thought that was a really neat thing. And that America needed that stuff. They
Yeah.
needed that culture.
I agree. And what I really
Injection.
liked about it too is that these armies, for lack of a better term, thanked the Americans. Said
Yeah.
this, the United States is awesome. Like, we know that, we live here. But they were like, you know what, you guys welcomed us. We loved having you here. We love being here. We love the fact that you guys were welcoming us. And I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, we
You know,
talked about when they were at the Red Sox game, when the Tartan Army was at the Red Sox game, 5,000 of them took over center field.
Yeah.
And that was probably the most electric Red Sox regular season game in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was neat. And, not coincidentally, that was really when they got going on their winning streak.
Right.
Yeah. Because that energy was there. Yeah.
Well, the Scottish energy.
Maybe
There you
it
go.
was.
Yeah, I mean, the other piece that I think is tough, and this isn't a positive, is we now definitely know that the American team, the U.S. team, and you put it this way, and I like what you said, is light years away from elite teams. I mean, they shouldn't even be on the same pitch as some of the elite teams.
A round of 16, I think, was a very, very successful thing based on the talent level for the Americans. I thought maybe round of 32 probably would have been more apropos because they did not give Belgium a game.
Right.
It was almost one of the more lopsided games that we'd seen in this tournament.
Yeah.
Which says maybe their group was a little bit easier than
to get through. Yeah.
And that's another piece that and maybe Dog, maybe this, how they decide on these groups, how they make the groups, because some of the groups were a lot harder to get through than others.
Mm-hmm.
And the American group was not a very difficult one.
I just threw a drawing, because again, they don't want the same group they had previously 4 years or 8 years. So essentially it's almost, you probably have to think it's like a computer, right?
Yeah.
I would think so. I saw some commentary on the finals that basically it was almost like a foregone conclusion that they felt that the final what was the upset? The upset was Spain was the upset.
Yeah.
That they really felt that France was going to be there and it was going to be against Argentina.
Well, wasn't it? Well, it wasn't England. England was favored over Argentina.
Let me say this again, that the France-Spain game
Mm-hmm.
was the quote-unquote finals game.
So they wanted Messi and Mbappe.
The championship was going to be that game.
Okay.
That the worst side of the bracket was the Argentina-England side of the bracket.
Okay.
Which I just found to be interesting. But the Americans did not have to deal with an elite team until the 16th.
Right.
At all. They did not have to deal with an elite team until the 16th.
Yeah.
So
So they had an easy schedule.
They had
Getting
an easy.
there.
They had an
A
easy.
la New England Patriots.
I was just going to say, I love
Yeah.
the Patriots. So,
Yeah.
Overall, the World Cup had some ups. I'm going to put a bow tie on this thing. The World Cup had some ups and downs.
Mhm.
I think overall it was a good experience. I think it brought soccer a little bit more in the limelight
Yeah.
in terms of Americans and internationally, and they saw some
Yeah.
names. I think people enjoyed watching Messi. They enjoyed but they see Messi with the MLS and Miami, so that's a little bit different.
They enjoyed Norway.
But they didn't see Mbappe. They didn't
Yeah.
see Haaland.
Yeah. They love
Neymar.
Yeah.
All these other big names
Yeah.
that they didn't get a chance to see, and I thought that was pretty good. I just think that the American performance,
Mm-hmm.
or at least what you saw, left a real sour taste in people's mouths. Say, oh, this is not our sport.
Yeah.
This is not our sport, and we're a little ways away from it.
No, tomorrow they play Doug, right? Is it 3 p.m.? Is that the time?
It's either 3 or 5. Let's see. Tomorrow, for Sunday, yes, it's 3 p.m. because Saturday today is England versus France. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that they would have. I don't know. Sunday's fine, obviously. That's like football on a Sunday makes sense. But 3 p.m. like you would think you'd want to put it in prime time, especially now it's here in the United States. Put it in prime time
But these semifinal matches were like 3 and 5 o'clock. They were
sure, yeah. There was no
in the middle of the week.
Yeah, like people were taking time off from work to watch this or watching it at work.
There was a lot of people taking time because there was a lot of people that went to these games.
Yeah,
and I watched it. It was interesting.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, it's a worldwide audience, so you're going to be on later on in the European countries. So.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Right.
But yeah, so it'll be good. I'll probably, if I'm around, like if I'm not doing something super exciting, I'm probably going to watch.
I will, and mainly because Messi is in there. And he is a draw, and he's kind of mesmerizing when you watch it because he does nothing, and then as soon as he gets the ball, he's like in fast motion, fast speed. He goes in like an extra speed. Like you turn the TV to 2 times or 3 times to play because that's what quick he is compared to everybody else.
All right, let's do our picks then for tomorrow. Who are you taking?
So Spain plays a keep away game.
Okay.
And that's really what happened with France. Did not get the chance to touch the ball. I think that Spain overall is a much deeper team and a stronger team.
Well,
like I'm talking like
I know you are.
I know it all.
The World Cup soccer expert.
So I'm going to go with Spain with a 1 point. No, I'm just kidding. Spain seems like the more dominant team. Argentina seems like more of a Cinderella team, even though they're the defending champion. It's all about Messi. Yeah. And I'm going to say Spain's going to win. I want Argentina to win, though.
All right, Doug, what are your thoughts?
Spain. They played France so beautifully. Just can you imagine what they can do containing Messi and company as the defending champs? And this is going to be it for Messi anyway. So does he go out on a high note? I think he comes up just short, but I think Spain wins their first World Cup since 2010.
Are you sure it's going to be Messi's last one?
I think so.
He's getting up there. He's going to be in his mid-40s. He's 39.
He's got a chance at the Golden Boot, doesn't he?
Yes, but I
know, but he doesn't look like he's
Mbappe's the future. So
I don't see Messi slowing down at this point. I think he probably has. If you would you take Messi at 70% of what he is now?
Oh, of course.
Of course you would.
Yeah. Of course. It's like saying would you take Pele
and so in 4 years
70%?
would he get 70%? I think there's a chance that Messi goes again.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be great. It'd be like right now, I'd take Tom Brady.
I know you would.
I'm going to pick Spain as well, but I'm similar to you. I think I'd like to see Messi win.
I think it'd be a good story. All right. We'll be right back. More Mike and the Hoss. All right. Welcome back to Mike and the Hoss on the Pulse of New Hampshire in our new chairs that are not squeaking.
Yes.
These feel a little bit more solid now.
I know. These are better chairs.
They are better. We're at time for New Hampshire Sports.
New Hampshire Sports is brought to you by Bailey's Bubble. Family owned and operated Bailey's Bubble in downtown Wolfboro serves the finest ice cream in the state May through October. If you can't make it to Wolfboro for ice cream, you can still order their hot fudge, panucci, and butterscotch sauces at baileysbubble.com. My favorite is their homemade hot fudge. When placing your order, don't forget to tell them that Mike and the Hoss sent you.
All right, we obviously spent a long time on World Cup thoughts, and so you wanted to.
I just wanted to ask. So you guys have seen in the news lately. So the House of Representatives just passed making daylight savings permanent. Now it has to go to the Senate where it's going to have an uphill battle, but the president has already said that if it gets through the Senate, that he'll sign it into law. I just wanted to know your thoughts on for most people that don't live under a rock understand we switch our clocks back twice a year. So this would have permanent daylight savings, and then we would just keep the time year round. What are your thoughts?
I think that it's time not to switch, but I think we're choosing the wrong one.
Okay.
I think that we should choose standard time.
Standard time. Yeah.
And my concern is we teach and you wake up early now because you're at a different school.
Oh,
and so
just so you know, just so our listeners know, he's currently making fun of me.
So, and Doug, you walk to work early in the morning, and we're talking about 8:30. It being dark until 8:30.
In the morning. Yes.
8:30.
So you'd have a late sunrise.
And there's one thing about when you wake up at 6 and you're kind of getting and the sun's coming up, but we're talking about for the first in our case, the kids get to school at around 7:00.
Yeah, buses are here at 7 and we start at 7:20.
So our
Yeah.
first full classes are going to be pitch black. Pitch black.
Are you familiar with what's above us? They're called lights.
Oh God.
So
I just but
No, I'm
I
just
think
throwing that out there.
I think that I would rather it go the other way. I would rather see it lighter in the morning and there's
and dark in the afternoon. You like here's my take, Doug. And Doug, I do want to listen to you. I'm not making a big deal out of this, but I like to be able at the end of the day. Actually, that's when I actually like to do things. So I like to get outside. Like I would like to be able to walk my dog in the middle of February and not have it be dark at 3:58 p.m. And I'm only saying this, and now it's a little different now, right? Because I get out of now and with my new position, I get out of work a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
so that I could probably get some daylight.
Yeah.
But in my old job,
it's just
I was leaving school and my headlights were on.
right. And now you're going to be going to school in your headlights. So I guess it's which
yeah,
which is
yeah.
what
Which would you
wanna
prefer?
do.
And you prefer that?
I would
Yeah.
prefer, I know there's something about the body chemistry when you're waking up and it's like
I'm sure. Yeah, I no
you
doubt
know,
about that.
and
Yeah,
I appreciate what you're saying in the afternoon.
yeah,
And we're also just talking about the extremes too. We're talking about
sure.
the peak of the time where it
Right.
would be 8:20 or the peak of the time where it would be 58.
And we're also talking about up here in northern New England. I mean, if you live in Florida, it's really not going to make a huge difference. You're closer to the equator and all that
Right.
stuff. Doug, what are your thoughts? What do you want to do?
Didn't this happen in the 70s and it was a disaster?
It did, yeah, it did, and then yeah,
So I certainly don't like it being pitch black at 4:30, but I also don't want it pitch black at 8:30 in the morning either.
okay,
One of the reasons why that they dumped it was because children were getting killed. There was 5 children that were killed in Florida
yeah,
because cars couldn't see them. They were walking to school or on the bus
Right.
stop or whatever, and they weren't seen because it was so dark.
I mean, my argument to that is,
at night,
you got
they
a
drop
late
off at
bus
night,
dropping
yeah.
off at 5. It's pitch black.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I hear you, and
yeah. I get that. We don't want kids killed. Period.
you know what it sounds like? Maybe we should,
Yeah.
maybe we should keep daylight savings time and keep switching. Maybe we should keep switching.
Yeah, I mean,
You,
maybe.
you and I are both going into,
Yeah,
we're making arguments for each other,
sure.
and
Yeah.
it's really easy to say that. Well, maybe
Yeah.
the system that we have now actually does
Right.
make sense.
So a quick story. I will make it really quick. When I worked at a summer camp, right, we created our own time because what we wanted to do is we didn't care so much about the morning stuff
Yeah.
because that was like breakfast and whatever you do your chores. We wanted to be able to have our evening program linger longer. So we created our own time. So, kids were thinking that it's 9:30 at night and it's still light out, but it really isn't, obviously, in the real world. But
Right.
it just kind of worked out. We call it Rotary time, and it worked out perfect. Like it was just kind of fun with how we're able to do that, obviously in a small little microcosm.
Interesting.
So so it was great. It was, for us, it was better to have light at the end of the day than it was at the beginning of the day.
Just having this discussion tells me that maybe we should just keep it the way it is.
Maybe. Yeah. So, and I don't think, I don't know what you might know what Vegas says about whether or not the Senate is going to pass it. It sounds like it's an uphill battle that it's not going to get through the Senate. So it won't matter anyway.
Yeah.
So-
But eventually eventually at some point, they're going to try it again.
Oh,
They're
sure.
going to try it again. And then these arguments that we're having
gonna
right
have,
now,
yeah.
it's, and they're probably going to end up going back.
Yeah.
Because there's probably benefits on both sides of it.
I'm sure there are.
You
I'm
know?
sure there are. And I think it just comes down to preference.
Yeah.
Are you a morning person or are you an evening person when you'd like to do your activities?
So
Yeah.
the Senate vote's going to come down to the morning people versus
Yeah.
the
Could you
evening
imagine?
people.
It's not even going to become party. It's not even party line.
That'd be pretty funny. Hey, before we go to break, let's just recap the All-Star game. The baseball All-Star game was this week.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of it unintentionally on overtime with Mike and the Hoss. We were just going to say a quick blurb, and the next 12 or 13 minutes later, we were
We're
still
still
going.
talking about it. Yeah.
Because I think the All-Star experience brings a lot of different kinds of emotions and thoughts
Yeah.
on how we feel. We had a friend who was in Philadelphia, and he went to the game, and he just was speaking glowingly about the experience in the park.
Yep.
I think generally we didn't feel as positive as he did when we were watching on TV.
yeah.
We know that Dog didn't feel as positive because he had a lot of things to say. And I thought that there was a lot of cringy kinds of things that happened. And I had mentioned Dylan Cease talking with the announcers, the catchers,
Yeah.
prior to every pitch. I thought that was kind of a weird look. It was not a great game for the National League. It was a terrible, game for the Philadelphia Phillies,
Sure.
who are the host town. I I think the shine is off the All-Star game. And I think that's what it comes down to. I think the shines are off the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And I could say that about every single sport.
Mhm.
I just don't think that they work anymore.
Yeah, I agree. And we've talked about this. It would be nice just you can name. Why don't we name all stars? You know, you still get the credit. Like if you've earned it, you do it. And then let's, you know, if you need to take a break, that's fine. Take a 3-4 day break and just kind of call it that. Let's not play a silly game. Let's not have a home run derby. Let's not play flag football or whatever, whatever your sport is.
What are your thoughts on the Four Nations? The NHL got rid of their All-Star game that year and they did the Four Nations. What are your thoughts on doing that instead?
Yeah, I love that. Like we love the Four Nations. We talked about that. You could do that with almost like a World Baseball Classic.
Yep. Week time, just have 6.
Yeah, I think
8
you got
nations.
to. I think that what it comes down to is right. So if you're doing a World Baseball Classic, and you pitch for the Red Sox, who's your allegiance to? Because you got to come back a week later. Like you don't want to get injured. You don't want to be tired. You don't want to strain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the time and place of when you do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, not that I hate saying that, but it's I don't know. I think it's true.
Yeah, but maybe you could put in some rules for it that pitchers can't throw more than 3 innings.
I was going to say, or like the American League did, they use 11 pitchers.
Right.
That's fine.
Maybe you can do it that way.
Yeah.
I just think there's ways to do it. You and I are not on the same page in terms of I liked it when it mattered, when the All-Star game mattered.
No. I think we're on. I think we're on the same page. No, I don't disagree with that. I thought that was kind of cool where there was. It meant something like if the American League, like basically if the American League wins, then they become the home team, so they get the extra.
They get the
Game
7.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I mean that obviously clearly just because we liked it, I know Dog can't stand it, and most of the world didn't because it doesn't exist anymore.
I know.
So
well, and I think that it doesn't exist anymore because the players didn't want to play another meaningful game.
Yeah,
I think that's where it came down to, is that the players didn't want to play a meaningful game. But as a fan, I tuned in a lot more to those All-Star games than I did now.
You're thinking like, oh gosh, the Red Sox are going to be in it. The Red Sox, they're the home team. They're going to get an extra game if needed. Yeah.
I just didn't like that it took teams on that weren't as good, like the Minnesota Twins or someone that because as you know, the starters are the superstars, right? They're not going to stay in the 9th inning. It took 9th inning teams that aren't in it. Essentially, players on teams that aren't going to be in it determines whether you're going to get home field advantage or not. That was my issue. That's all. Like Mike Young of the Texas Rangers in 2006 had the clutch, game-winning hit in Pittsburgh. Texas wasn't in it that year, so it didn't really matter. The Tigers had home field advantage, and they still lost to the Cardinals. But I'm just saying, it took someone on a last-place team to get the Tigers to have home field advantage in the World Series. That was my issue. That's all.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
I still think it works.
Yeah.
I still think it works. I wish they would go back to it.
What? Maybe they'll come back to it.
All right. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mike and Haas and the Pulse of New Hampshire. We've been we're kind of over on time already, so we're going to have to go a little quick. You had a little story on Jerry Rice.
I did, yeah. And I don't know, I'm sure you guys saw it. So, and it was on social media. Someone had grabbed a video of this. Jerry Rice, he's playing in the American Century Championship in Nevada, a golf tournament. And someone heckled him while he was teeing off, and Jerry didn't like that. And Jerry has a bit of a past, by the way, at this tournament. We can talk about that in a second. So he actually turned around, and the guys that heckled him were kind of making a beeline out of the way, and Jerry came off the tee and chased these guys down, and the fans were there saying, it's the guy in this hat or that hat, whatever. And Jerry went down there, caught up to him. Like, Jerry was actually running. Did you see the video?
No.
Oh, you guys see it? He was running. You're not going to run away from Jerry Rice. I know he's 63 years old, but we're still not running away from Jerry Rice.
He's 63.
63. So he went down there and had whatever the conversation was. They didn't pick it up, and came back, and then the fans were kind of cheering. Good job, Jerry.
Was he heated? Was he really heated, or was it more for show?
I see. He seemed pretty fired up, and here's the reason. Back in 2024 at the same tournament, a couple of reporters from Kansas City had asked him about the 49ers loss to the Chiefs, and he replied, and I can't say it on radio what he said, "I will something to you," and he was really heated about it because he will, he'll always defend the 49ers, but I like his passion. I like the fact that Jerry Rice is. I mean, he's like the greatest of all time as far as like looking at receivers.
He's the greatest receiver of all time.
Yeah, he's just so good at what he does, and he's a good like he's a good human being. Like he was always good to fans. He always signs autographs. He interacts with people. He's not like JBJ. Like he would, talk to me. So that type of stuff. So I found that interesting.
Okay.
Jerry Rice.
I like the tournament. I said that earlier in the
Yeah.
show. I like that tournament. I like seeing the stars in what their golf game looks like. I love the fact that Annika Sormstrand plays in it.
Yeah.
That's I think a nice little feature that they have her play in it, and she
Yeah.
was up near the leaderboard again.
I can go on record, and I'm not a golfer, but I can go on record right now and tell you that my golf swing is better than Jerry Rice's.
Well,
He's not a golfer.
Oh, I also love the Barkley narrative, Charles Barkley narrative, that every year, they put odds on for him to win it, and it's like 400 to 1, something crazy like that. But it gets better every year. The guy really works at his game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, Charles Barkley 15 years ago, the swing was,
Yeah.
oh God,
President Trump-esque.
Oh God, Trump's swing was 10 times better than, Barkley
Barkley.
it was really bad. And he works at it, but he's also, Barkley is so good for sports.
He's great.
His
I
attitude
love his
towards
commentary.
everything. He's him on NBA, TNT on NBA, whatever
Yeah.
they call it. He's good. He's funny. He's personable. He and Shaq, they're funny. They're
Plus,
personable.
he just says exactly how he feels,
And
and
they-
he doesn't care if he offends people.
and they're self-deprecating too. And he's self-deprecating about his golf game.
Yeah.
And he just seems to be very likable. So
Yeah,
no, it's
agreed.
good stuff.
Yeah.
We'd be remiss to not talk about Patriots training camp that's
Yeah.
coming up. We'll spend a few minutes on that. What's your general? The Patriots are coming off a Super Bowl appearance. Hard to even imagine saying that, but we're saying that.
I know. What I'm liking so far, obviously training camp hasn't started. I'm liking the Drake May and the AJ Brown. I'm liking the fact that there seems to be some chemistry there, or at least
Yeah.
they're saying there is, but it seems to be with some of the videos that I've seen. I like the fact that the Mike Vrabel stuff has kind of been.
I was going to ask you, is that dead now?
I would say we're not hearing a lot about it. I suspect we might hear a little more next week, but it's no longer the, talk of the town, right?
Yep.
So, and I think that's where it needs to stay. We've obviously seen some public appearances with Vrabel and his wife.
Yeah.
So
Right now, the only drama that they seem to have going is the Christian Gonzalez contract stuff.
yeah, they got to figure that out.
Because the Vrabel stuff seems to have taken a backseat. Drake May listed as the number 8 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, it's
Too high,
interesting.
too low, or just right?
Might be too high. I don't know, but you can't put me on the spot and say, well, I'll name quarterbacks that are better than him. Maybe I don't know. You got
Dak Prescott he was listed ahead of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Dak Prescott's a good quarterback, but just not in.
I think we're going to learn a lot about
Meaningful
Drake May
games.
this year because his offensive line has improved and his receiving core has improved.
Yeah.
He has, which he did. I know Steph Diggs did an amazing job last year and everything like that.
Yeah,
He has a legitimate NFL receiving corps this year.
he does.
He really does.
Yeah.
You cannot say that he does not have a
Yeah,
good
he
receiving
does.
corps.
He does, yeah.
And his offensive line is significantly better than it was last year.
Right.
So
he'll have more time.
this is going to be on May. This one's on May, and if May doesn't perform, then
I agree. My expectations, though, I don't see the Patriots returning to the Super Bowl. I just see them returning to the playoffs, maybe. And I'm throwing maybe out there. I don't know. I think it's just looking at the schedule, and I think it's going to be an uphill road the whole season.
Did the Dolphins get better? No.
No, they didn't.
Did the Jets get better?
No, but they
Okay.
never. Yes,
Did the
I know.
Bills- did the Bills get
about
better?
no, but it's
No.
it's going to be about the Bills. It's going to be about the Bills.
But
and
the Bills didn't
Patriots.
get better.
Yeah.
The Patriots did get better. On paper,
Okay.
the Patriots got better. So on paper, you should be feeling a lot better about this Patriots team this year than you did last year.
I would if we had the
going in.
same. I wish if we had the same schedule.
I was going to say, yeah. The schedule is a
Yeah.
factor, and that certainly played into how their success was last year. But
Yeah.
you still had to win the games.
It's true. Any given Sunday, right?
So
Yeah. So I'm happy. Obviously, this is one of the best times of the year. You've got baseball. You got football. It's awesome.
what are your thoughts on the potential Steph Diggs return?
I don't know. He's in a lot of trouble. He's always got his. I just don't.
How would you feel on him as a number 3 receiver? Because that's what he would be coming in.
All right. So setting aside the fact that I don't think he's a good human being. All
Fair.
right.
Yeah,
All right.
fair.
Then I think that would be awesome from a football perspective.
Would that become a distraction? Could he handle being the number 3 guy, the number 3 option?
No, because he tried to be the number 1 guy, which might even improve his game.
He seemed. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I find it to be interesting. But I'm with you. I think the AJ Brown May thing is reminiscent, not quite the same. So
You're
just
gonna-
stay in your seat,
I know.
okay? Not quite the same as Brady Moss.
Yeah.
It was, you know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
When Moss came to town, I think we were like, you know, is this going to work? And then the reports that were coming out of New England early
Yeah.
on was that this team's going to be unstoppable. And you know what?
It was.
They were unstoppable
Wow.
until February 3rd or
Yeah.
whatever that date was.
I loved
So-
that chemistry between Brady and Moss. I loved seeing Moss take off, and just all Moss had to do is just do this with his fingers.
I know.
And Brady just knew it. It was like they were playing football at recess. It was just
So,
amazing.
I'm optimistic. I think you're going to see a better product. I don't know if that's going to translate to more wins.
Wins, yeah.
But I think it's going to be a better product.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we're going to be doing a Mount Rushmore, aren't we?
We're going to do a Mount Rushmore, a 21st century Mount Rushmore, so 2000 to current day of Boston sports.
Well, it makes sense. We're quarter of the way through.
We are.
So
Here
all
we
right,
are.
we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Mike and the Hoss and the Pulse of New Hampshire. Our fourth and final segment, sponsored by Maine Love Water.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love Maine Love Water. Maine Love Water and seltzers are sourced from pristine Maine waters, delivering a crisp, refreshing taste in every can. Next time you reach for canned water or seltzer, choose Maine Love. Thank you, Maine Love.
Dog wanted me to say it one more time.
I know. I think Dog is doing this just to purely aggravate me.
I think he is too. But I will be at the Red Sox later today.
Really?
I
Go
am
figure.
gonna be there. But in case you can't go, you can catch them on the Pulse of New Hampshire. 3:10 pregame, 4:10 first pitch.
Guess what? I'm going to be listening to them on the Pulse of New Hampshire because I will not be at the Red Sox game with you. Where are you sitting? Are you sitting in the dugout
Behind third base.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, behind third base.
with the beautiful people? If I go,
other celebrities.
oh, sorry, I was going to say when I go to the Red Sox game, they stick me out in center field.
Is that Red Sox or Rays dugout? That's Red Sox dugout, right?
It's the Rays dugout.
It's the Rays
dugout.
dugout.
Third base is
dugout,
Rays,
Third
yeah.
base is Rays. Do you know we're going to do a Mount Rushmore of 21st century Boston athletes?
Yes.
There aren't any current Red Sox on this.
No, there aren't.
Not
There
even
aren't.
close.
No.
So we haven't done a Mount Rushmore in a while. This was a staple for a while. I mean, we had a whole series of them.
We
where
did, yeah,
We
sure.
were doing NBA, NHL,
Yeah.
all time,
All
da, da, da.
time, whatever, yeah.
And so we were going kind of crazy. We haven't done it for a while, but we are a quarter of the way through the century. So
it's crazy to
it
think.
seems like a good time to do it. So
Yeah.
real quick, Mount Rushmore, your 4 top personality athletes, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
in Boston sports or New England sports.
New
in
England
this
sports.
case.
Any team doesn't matter.
Any team doesn't matter. All right. Looking at our list, and we haven't seen Dog's list, but we have some similarities.
Yeah.
And so I have some talking points on some of the other guys to be considered
Okay.
because I think there's real.
Yeah,
a
I
couple
mean,
of them are really
I was
obvious.
off air. Did say that Mike has an honorable mention, so he creates a Mount Rushmore, and then he creates mini Mount Rushmore,
Mini Mart, a little bit at the bottom.
which is fine.
On my list, number 1 is obviously it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, and he's number 1 on my list, and he's also one that we could probably comfortably say that if we were to create a Mount Rushmore of all sports, he's probably going to be on it.
Yeah, he's
Like the real thing.
He's like the Lionel Messi of the NFL.
Yeah.
If he's one of the greatest ever, he would be the
Yeah.
Lionel Messi of the NFL.
Speaking of Messi and the World Cup, Tom Brady will be at the game tomorrow.
as just about every other celebrity in the
Right.
world,
Yeah.
except for Mike and the Hoss.
Mike in the House will not be there, and J Dog will not be there.
All right. Number 2, I have Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Clutch, right? I mean, you can't say I'm Mr. Boston. I mean, the things that he did not only on the field, but even the things that he did off the field. You know, with the marathon bombing, the comments, the Boston Strong. David Ortiz is definitely on my Mount Rushmore.
Leadership for the Red Sox, sometimes not like positive, but he was the face
Yeah.
of it, and he allowed everybody else to be in the backseat. Dog, who are your first 2?
Is Tom Brady and Pedro Martinez.
Ooh, good one.
Okay,
That's
so
a good one.
Pedro made it. Yeah, it's tough. Pedro is obviously one of your. I think he's one of your. He's not even on there, but he would have been one of your honorable mentions probably.
That's an omission that I regret.
Yeah. No, I knew you have it. I mean, he's your favorite. But
I mean, I think Pedro is the greatest pitcher of all time, or a top 3 greatest pitchers of all time.
Yeah.
And so it's hard that I didn't put him on here. And so I have no explanation. It was just a brain fart.
yeah,
That's it. It was just a brain
but
fart.
yeah.
Number 3, I have Patrice Bergeron.
Mm.
I did try and spread the sports.
No,
So,
well, we have, yeah. So
Yeah.
we have football, we got baseball, now we
Yeah.
got hockey. I have Bergeron. I mean, he only ever played for Boston, right?
Yeah.
You know, what, 19 years?
yeah, captain
So-
for a whole bunch of years,
Yeah.
won a cup.
Aren't the Bruins going to be retiring his jersey?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I think that's coming
This
up.
season he will, because he's going to the Hockey Hall of Fame. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
going to be
know,
awesome.
About as classy of an individual as you could
Mhm.
want representing your team.
Yeah.
And, he came up when he was 18 years old back in, I want to say 04 or 05 when he
It
started.
was
when he
04 because the kid from Montreal playing for the Bruins. It was, how is
Yeah.
that going to happen? Is he going to
Yeah.
stay in? He stayed in Boston his entire career.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And did it with such class. But yeah, Patrice Bergeron.
yeah. Who do you have, dog?
Patrice Bergeron. So
All right. Yeah. So we spread it out between 3 sports.
So my last one,
You
this
going
is
WNBA? Is that what you're doing?
no, I'm not going WNBA. And I went with Dustin Pedroia. I regret it. I
You don't
should
have
have
to
gone.
regret it.
I regret it because Pedro should have been this. Pedro should have been my 4th. I think
just
that
cross
Pedroia.
off Pedro and just cross off the IA because it's Pedroia.
could
Just
do
take
that.
off the
There you
IA.
go.
I could do that.
You
I
could
actually
just do that.
Maybe I'm going to say Pedro. Pedroia is going to be in my honorable mention. I'm
Okay.
going with Pedro. I have to.
All right. I actually spread it out amongst the 4 sports.
Yes.
And I went with a Celtics player, and I went with Paul Pierce, homegrown Paul Pierce, the truth, right? Brought a championship in what 2008. One of the big 3, but just something about Paul Pierce, his leadership on the court, in the locker room. I think Paul is special. He reminded me a lot of the 80s Larry Bird, like as far as leadership, not the way they played, but just something about him. So Paul Pierce for me would be on Mount Rushmore.
Dog, who's your 4th?
I have a Celtic, but it's not the truth. Kevin Garnett. I don't
Okay.
think the Celtics do anything without Kevin Garnett, the big ticket. Anything is possible with KG.
I put Pierce and Garnett in my honorable mentions because I'm with Dog on this. Pierce doesn't even get mentioned on yours unless Garnett's there. I think Garnett took that team to a different
And here's the
level.
reason, and I don't disagree with Kevin Garnett. Absolutely love him, but it's because of Paul Pierce's leadership. Kevin Garnett was Paul Pierce allowed Kevin Garnett to be Kevin Garnett and do what Kevin Garnett did.
I agree with you. Paul Pierce took a step back.
Yes.
So it became Kevin Garnett's team. So you can't argue with that. I just don't know if he's a Mount Rushmore. My honorable mentions, because we're running out of time fast here. Julian Edelman.
Sure.
Uh,
Some amazing catches.
Zdeno Chara, Brad Marchand,
Yeah.
and Gronk.
Yeah.
Gronk.
Gronk.
Gronk, I think, would deserve some votes.
Yeah. Gronk. Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
I think we're both on, we're around the same page. I think it's at least 3 out of the 4 are pretty obvious, and maybe the 4th one we can argue about. All right, that's going to do it for us. Next week's show,
Yes.
Christmas in July.
Christmas in July.
There's gonna
Lots
be
and lots of
trivia,
giveaways.
giveaway, and all that kind of stuff. Dog's going to shut us down. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.